Hello everyone and welcome to EduTab. Many of us aspirants have prepared for the EPFO Enforcement Officer and Accounts Officer examination which was conducted by UPSC in 2021 in the month of September. The results of the examination, the final results are still not yet out, but many of us aspirants who prepared for that examination are now looking forward for the EPFO APFC notification which can be released by UPSC anytime soon. So today's video is dedicated to all those aspirants who have prepared for the EPFO Enforcement Officer and Accounts Officer, that is EPFO, EO and AO examination, and are now looking forward for the APFC examination. So I am here to tell you what could be the strategy that you can adopt for preparation for APFC as you already have prepared for the EO and AO examination. So first of all, let us talk about the pattern of the two examinations. The pattern for these two examinations is not at all different. There are very minor differences between the two examinations. First, the similarities. Both the examinations are conducted by UPSC. Both the examinations are being conducted for profiles or jobs in a single organization, that is Employees Provident Fund Organization, EPFO, with a single mandate, right? So both the examinations, if I talk about Enforcement Officer, Accounts Officer, that is EO, AO, and APFC examinations, they are conducted in two stages. Both examinations have a recruitment test, that is a written test, and then an interview, right? Personal interview. Both these stages have a weightage of 75% to 25%. So whatever marks you score in the recruitment test in both the examinations, that marks will be multiplied by 3, and then the marks that you score in the interview, that marks will get added to your score of recruitment test, and then the final marks that you will be given the merit for. Now for interview, both the examination, they have an interview for 100 marks, so no big difference. Maximum marks category wise which have to be given, so minimum marks which have to be given to the candidate for unreserved category, for general category, for OBCs or for SCs, STs and physically handicapped candidates, these are same. There is no change in provision for the interview test, right? If we talk about the recruitment test, the initial stage of the examination, both the examinations, they are of duration of 2 hours, right? The total marks for the EPFO examination was 300, and for APFC they are expected to be 100 marks. If we talk about number of questions, 120 questions were asked in the exam of EOAO which was conducted in 2021, and 120 questions are being expected in the APFC exam also. In the last APFC exam, the numbers of questions was 120. Negative marking is still the same, 1/3 negative marking in both the examinations. So if we talk about the pattern of the exam, there is no single difference except for one, that is the total marks of the recruitment test were 300 for the EOAO, and for APFC we are still yet to know what would be the maximum number of marks, what would be the per question marks which are allotted to a single question. So the syllabus is the next thing that we have to take care about, because the preparation is, the pattern is same, and the kinds of MCQs, the level of MCQs that we'll see in both the examinations, that is absolutely similar. So there is no big worry about that. If we talk about the syllabus, if we look at the syllabus for both the examinations, first of all, that is EPFO examination, EO and AO. General English, current events, Indian freedom struggle, polity and economy, developmental issues, then general accounting principles, industrial relations, labor laws, social security, general science, computer applications knowledge, and general mental ability, which is basically your mathematical or quantitative skills. Next, if we look at the APFC exam, the syllabus is exactly similar. Some few chapters are additionally added to the APFC exam. English is there, current events, the same current events which are covered in the DD exam. You already have covered the current affairs till August 2021 for the exam of EPFO. Next, 1 year current affairs from August 2021 to August 2022. That extra 1 year current affairs that you will have to learn about, right? Next, current events, then after Indian culture, heritage and freedom movement. Freedom movement you already have read for EO and AO examination. Indian culture heritage part is the additional chapter that you have to learn. Then population development and globalization, governance and constitution of India, just like Indian polity. Then trends in Indian economy, just like Indian economy. After that, accountancy and auditing. So auditing is the new thing that you will have to read about, or accountancy, the general principles of accountancy, you already have covered for EO, AO examination. Next, insurance, not a very important part of the APFC exam as well. If you look at the previous year's questions, not many questions, only 2 questions have been asked in the previous years of the APFC examination, and those 2 questions were also not very complex questions. They were kind of a general questions related to the field of insurance. Next, social security schemes, in both the examinations they are being asked. general knowledge about computers, your computer applications, and general science and elementary maths. This is again covered in EOO. The statistics part, the insurance part, and the auditing part are the three basic parts which are not part of the EOO exam but of APFC. Next, population, globalization, and Indian culture. These are some general studies papers and subjects which you must read for the APFC examination. So you can clearly see that if you have prepared for the EOO examination last year, then there is not extra much work that you'll have to do for the APFC exam. If we look at the components of both the examinations, we must be in a doubt कि दोनों अलग-अलग हैं क्या? Because both the examinations have exactly same kind of a pattern. Both the examinations are being held in two stages. Both the examinations have similar kind of syllabus. And if we look at the distribution of questions, most of the questions in EPFO exam and most of the questions in APFC exam, both of them, they were both of these examinations, the questions, the level of questions and the distribution of questions from across the topics, it was quite similar. Most of the questions, they were from Indian polity, Indian economy, and Indian GS. Next, the largest set of questions was from mathematics, the general mathematical ability, and your general English. And if we talk about industrial relations, if we talk about insurance, if we talk about labor laws, if we talk about accountancy, not many questions were asked from these chapters in previous APFC examinations. But in EPFO exam, questions, the number of questions from labor laws, the number of questions from industrial relations, the number of questions from social security schemes, they were much higher last year in 2021. So we expect that in APFC exams also we will see a larger number of questions from accountancy, from auditing, from your social security schemes, and from industrial relations and labor laws, right? So what we have to study, we already have covered these chapters for EPFO examination, EOAO examination. Additionally, we'll only have to read about Indian culture and heritage. 2 or 3 questions at the most you will see from Indian culture and heritage, and most of the times these questions are not very difficult. A well-read candidate who has prepared for various examinations or who is well versed with current affairs, he or she can answer the questions from Indian culture as well. Population and globalization, you must know about the Indian population, especially the data from the last population census of 2011. You must be clear about that, about the simple parameters like literacy rate, the sex ratio, the urbanization rate across Indian states. You must have a fair idea about that. Then auditing, insurance, and statistics. Auditing is the new topic that many of you might be reading about, but we are covering this topic in the course that we are coming up with for APFC examination. And insurance and statistics, not very major topics. If you talk about statistics, there are 2 or 3 chapters that you read, and questions, 90%, more than 90% probability is there that questions will be there from these 2 or 3 chapters only related to the subject of statistics, right? And then obviously insurance, not a very difficult topic to prepare for. We will read about the regulatory framework around insurance sector in India, the major players in the insurance industry in India, and what are the basic concepts related to this idea of insurance. We will read about that also. So not much extra additional task that you will have to do. If you already have prepared for the EOAO examination last year, then you are more than 70% prepared for the APFC exam as well whenever the notification is out. So in addition to covering these additional subjects, what you will have to do, you will have to revise the subjects that you have read for the EOAO exam, and then you will have to solve PYQs of APFC, and also you can solve the PYQs for the 2021 EOAO exam, because the level of questions, as I told you, and the syllabus from which the questions were derived, the syllabus is same, the level of questions is not very different. So you can revise, you can solve the PYQs for EOAO exam also for the APFC, right? So lastly, the approach for both these exams is very similar. The exams, both of these, they are of a tough level. The current affairs, they are very wide, they are having a very wide coverage, and in-depth coverage is required. Obviously the exams are being prepared by UPSC, are being conducted by UPSC, so you can expect a good quality of questions as well. And if you talk about the general studies part, basically the history, the polity, the Indian constitution, or the Indian economy, the questions will be of conceptual nature also, right? In addition to the factual questions which are being asked related to current affairs or in other subjects. So we know that the mode of preparation for both these exams is not going to be any different. We will have to read some extra things for the APFC examination, and whenever the notification is out and whenever you are going to prepare for the exam, you are provided with these two courses. We have provided you a free 10-day starter pack for EPFC exam. You can go through this pack absolutely free of cost for 10 days, and then you can figure out whether you are in need of a course to prepare for the additional subjects, to prepare for the additional things that you need for the EPFC exam. And we also coming up with a master course for EPFO EPFC, where all the syllabus for the EPFC exam is being covered in great detail, along with the previous year's questions, along with the video lectures and handouts that you will need to prepare all the subjects for the EPFC examination. The links for both these courses, for the starter pack as well as the master course, is given in the description box. You can go through the starter pack first, I would recommend, and then you can judge for yourself whether you like the content that we are providing you or not. Okay, so this is all from my side in this particular video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel if you find the content that we have given you helpful for a preparation, and do not forget to like this video if you found this content helpful. Thank you. पढ़ते रहो, बढ़ते रहो. जय हिंद and जय भारत.